Hey everyone, it's Jenny. Welcome to another process video. I'm just showing you a kit that I have pulled together from my stash to make this layout, and it's inspired by the Simple Stories line called I Am. So I've just got some papers to the side and I pulled all different papers from all different collections. So you will probably recognize lots of little pieces from Crate Paper, October Afternoon, and this beautiful gold spotted piece is a piece from Kaisercraft, and it is gorgeous. So it's got glitter spots all over it, gold glitter spots, which is beautiful. So I knew I wanted to use that, and I've got that frame there from a Maggie Holmes collection. I think it was the open book collection, and I wanted to use that, and I'm just going through some of my papers and trying to work out a piece that I want to use for my background. And I think this piece is from the new We Are Memory Keepers collection, and you will see that I end up changing that out. So I keep that for quite a while and then end up changing it. So I'm just adding this pink piece of paper underneath that's called from Pebbles, and I'm having lots and lots of layers under this one. So I haven't done any layering for quite a while, so I thought I would make this one a layered layout. So I've just got lots of little bits and pieces in that plate there to the left that I have pulled from all various collections, and some I made myself. That feather there, the gold and blue, I made that. That was a chipboard feather that I painted. And so at this point in time I'm just putting some things around the page and, you know, having a place to start. So mostly I do layouts that aren't based on a design, or aren't based on a not based on a design. What's the word I'm looking for, ladies? Come on, help me out. Once again, it's getting late. A sketch. So not based on a sketch or anything like that. I usually just start and, you know, just go wherever I feel like going. And so that's what I'm doing now, and often in that process it just means laying things down and seeing whether I like them and putting them together if I do, or just putting them to the side if I don't. So just having a look at what other pieces of paper I've got in my stash. So that's a little bit of Dear Lizzie there with the horses on it, the lovely pink. And I've got some Kaisercraft. The Shine Bright collection is that black scallop piece that was in the 6x6 paper pad, and I'm just sticking that down, wanting to add a little bit of black to the page as well. I'm going to have a black border around the page, and I just want to bring in some more black and white elements to match that frame. So I'm just cutting and tucking. So those little squares were cut from a Dear Lizzie paper pad, and the little tags were from a Maggie Holmes collection. And just putting a little hole in the top, but it was blocked, so I just cleared out the hole and just punching a little hole in that. And that pink tag was also from the Maggie Holmes, an older Maggie Holmes collection, so I end up cutting that in half. The little Best Day yellow tab there was from a Kaisercraft, the Shine Bright collection. So just cutting this tag in half so that it looks like my piece of paper is bigger than it is, and it looks like it extends the whole side, the whole size of that matting. So that's a little bit of a tip for you. If you don't have very much paper, you can just cut them down and make them seem like they're bigger. So I just want to tuck this in, but the sticky tape is really sticky under there, the double-sided tape, so it didn't work, so I've just trimmed that down a little bit and still sticking that down. So I'm not caring about things being straight. I wanted those little yellow cards to be on an angle, and this is where the layout goes a little bit pear-shaped for me. So I've got this brand new paint and this little stencil. Haven't used them before, and I'm rubbing it with my fingers, and I didn't actually like the look. So I didn't like the colour on this layout. It was a little bit too, I don't know, greeny coloured, but it wasn't quite right. Even though it looks fine on the video here, to me it wasn't quite right. So you will see that I end up changing that up a little bit later, but for now I'm just persevering with it, tapping my fingers, so I'm obviously thinking about what I'm going to do next. And I've pulled out some glimmer mist and I'm putting a sprinkle of that on there. So that is I think it was like it's called Vanilla Breeze. It's sort of a yellowy pinky colour. It's a very weird sort of colour, but anyway, I've laid that down and I'm just continuing to play with some of these elements whilst that's drying and having a look. I've pulled some little bits of ephemera from the crate paper, different crate paper collection packs that I've had, and just all sorts of little embellishments from all sorts of different little packs. So just working out what I can tuck underneath, and that was from a little pink paisley set, and just trying to add a lot of those little colours to the layout. This one here, My Story, that's not going to work this time, but I will get that to work another time. So here I go, having a look, and I've decided I'm going to cut the paper down, and I cut this out so you don't need to see me do all that, but I've cut it down and I end up sticking it onto a piece of black cardstock, which I end up gutting out of the middle. This is the one, but I've cut that out and I just stuck it on, but it's still having a bit of a play here to see whether I want something up in that top corner. And there we go. So it's trimmed down, stuck down, and this is where I'm deciding, I don't really like that. Just flipped my mat over because the darkness of the mat was distracting me. So there you go. I've just written there, I didn't like the white cardstock. I didn't like that cardstock background, so I've gone for a white background instead. So I just pulled that all up, and this looks better to me. So liking the look of this better, so just making sure I've stuck it all down. And I also added, I didn't realize my video had stopped, but I added some little white photo corners to some of the little mats as well. So to that pink spotty piece and the piece that has the horses on it. So that just added a nice little bit of whiteness to the page and something different. And I'm just adding a strip of the aqua, so bringing more of that into the page. So adding that on the left hand side and the top, and then there's some aqua to the right hand side as well. So that's in 3 different little spots to the page. And I've also added that little black chevron patterned bracketed piece to the top of this cluster layered piece as well. And I've got these beautiful Maggie Holmes stickers, and I want to write "Love You, Dad," and I'm just trying to work out where the best placement for that would be. So I quite like it over there to the right and coming off the mat a little bit. So just cutting out these flowers. So this flower here was from an October Afternoon collection, and it was very similar to a flower in the Simple Stories I Am collection, so I thought that I would add that to the page, and I'm just trying to work out whether I can put that underneath the photo or not. So I quite like the idea of just leaving some of that photo hanging out where I've put the frame around. You know, I didn't worry about trimming off all the rest of the photo. I actually quite liked the visual element of keeping that whole photo in there, but drawing your attention, you know, to the center of the photo by having that frame, but still keeping the dress and all the other elements on the outside of the frame. So just popping that down, "Love you." And my dad has passed away. He must be nearly 12 years now, and so he died very young. He was only in his early 60s and maybe 61. And so this one here, I was going through some very old photos, and I had not scrapbooked one of these pages before, so that was a really nice little find, and I really wanted to do a page with me and my dad on my wedding day. So that was a very sentimental page and brought back lots of happy memories for me, and he was very proud on the day, and that was just a nice page to scrapbook. So all I've done is I pulled out some stickers, and I want to write Dad, but I wasn't sure which ones I wanted to use, and in the end I've gone with these sort of cream and gold stickers from Teresa Collins, I think they are, and yeah, just added those, but I'm just having a bit of a fiddle around to see exactly where I want to put them, and I just end up putting them a little bit higgledy-piggledy there, and not having them so even. And just adding that little flower to the top and putting a few foam dots underneath, so they're just very light foam dots, or very low I should say, so they're not don't have a heap of dimension, but they just bring them up a little bit. So I quite liked that, and just working out where I'm going to add that little flower bit to the side there. And I'm thinking of putting that flower underneath there as well, so I think I do leave that there. On the video it might look like you can't read the words very well with it there, but you can still see. In real life you can still see, so there's only so much that a video can pick up. And just putting some wet glue underneath that to make sure that it's not going to move, and putting this one up on some foam dots, and it's just about done. And I'm adding these little butterflies that I made. So they were little craft butterflies that had a little brown bead in them, so I just painted the bottom section there, sort of a layered butterfly. I just painted the bottom section gold and painted the tops of them a different colour, and took the brown bead off and added a little gemstone to them, so they added another little bit of gold element to the page. And now I'm just putting my journaling down, which I don't make you see because my head was getting in the way, and I'm just adding my black ink, and it is done. So thank you for joining me today. You will see some close-ups and some photos at the end, and I will see you next time. Bye.